Good morning, everybody. I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm about to head out to Yonkers, New York, and I wanted to make a quick video because there is some news about a brand new contract. This is going to be a Palantir video. 2 days ago, it was announced Palantir wins a $250 million contract specifically for R&D in artificial intelligence and machine learning for Army Command under the scope of DoD, and it's a 3-year contract that's going to go into September 25th or so, 2026. That's one contract. That's not the contract I'm talking about. Today, later on in the day, we're supposed to hear the announcement of who wins this massive NHS contract, which I'll get into in just a moment. And the front runner, it's assumed to be that Palantir is going to win this contract. We will see if that pans out. I'll get back to the NHS contract in just a moment, but there's another contract. I know you guys are going to say, Adam, what contract are you talking about? First of all, shout out to Crossroads this morning. He found an NIH contract, National Institute of Health, for $60 million, also for 3 years up until September 2026. Guys, this is absolutely massive. Some people are downgrading these contracts, and just understand these are massive numbers. Let's just do some napkin math, and I'm not the best guy when it comes to math. You have 250 million divided by 3. What do you get? Like 82 million, something like that. You have the $60 million contract divided by 3. That's around 20 million. It's 60 and change, but let's say 20 million. So what are we at? We're like around 102 million every year for the next 3 years. Now let's go to the NHS contract. Now, Vince is bullish. Shout out to him. I don't agree with his statement at all. Says that this NHS contract that's coming out, it's not a big deal. Don't get your hopes up. It's probably already assumed that we're going to get it and written in the books and guidance for Palantir. I don't agree with that, first of all. Second of all, I don't agree that it's not a big deal. So he says, the contract is going to be a 7-year contract. So the first 5 years, the award is 360 million. If you convert that to pound, if you convert that to dollars, 360 would come out to right around 480 million. Let's divide the 480 million by 5. We left with, 94 million, something like that. Now let's do the 94 million. Let's add up the 102 million that were over here, and let's go to around the 102 plus the 94. Let's call it around 200 million. So in the next 3 years, if we get the NHS contract as well, the next 3 years, 200 million, 200 million, 200 million of revenue. Palantir is going to get around $2.2 billion of revenue this year. 200 million is 9% additional revenue this year, next year, and next year. That is absolutely freaking massive numbers. We need to, by all measures, increase our revenue to 20% plus, and then in the future, 30% plus. All these contracts are massive. The NHS contract is super massive because it can possibly be a $600 million contract over the course of 7 years. So the way it works was a 360 million pound for the first 5 years, then a 120 million pound extension for the next 2 years. My math might be a little bit wrong. I'm sorry, it's really early, but I want to give you guys this video. So when you take into account the AI contract from the military, and then you take into account the NIH contract, and then you take into account the NHS contract, if we get it, God willing, later today, massive numbers. This increases our revenue by 9%. 9%. Now, I don't think this NHS contract, I don't think this NIH contract, and I don't think this Army Command contract were part of guidance. I don't think that we accounted for any of those things. The money from these contracts are not awarded instantly. Although I do believe that they are fixed cost contracts like the Army Command contract, but they are not awarded instantly. It takes time to grow into that. However, I do believe that we're going to start seeing it in early next year. So quarter 1 of 2024, quarter 2 of 2024. And I truly do believe that Palantir can hit 20% plus in the first half of 2024, especially if we are going to sign up all of these AIP clients, all of these AIP contracts. Palantir is onboarding more clients. The way they're doing it is they're giving out AIP for free, but this in turn is bringing in more eyes, more heirs, and then after they get it for free, they're going to be like a fiend. They're going to be like those corner people in next to the corner boys, if you know what I mean, and they're going to be itching for Palantir. It's like, Not to mention, Palantir is doing AIP boot camps. In 5 days, they make sure that you have enough training to show you that Palantir AIP can do for your business, can transform your business within 5 days of training. Why? Well, there are other platforms out there and there are other great software out there. Although for me, Palantir is the best. Very few, if any of them, are able to give you little code to no code training. And I believe that's the secret sauce when it comes to Palantir. The little to no code training that allows you to be a subject matter expert, but not necessarily an engineer or somebody who's in data science or somebody who's good with computers. And you can be somebody that's old, like 50, 60 years old. No offense, I'm 40 myself. That is not used to computers, and you're still able to get the most benefit out of your data because you are using Palantir Foundry, Palantir Gotham, Palantir AIP, so on and so forth. That's the magic sauce. Now, it's taking a while for people to understand what the Palantir community understands, but the Palantir community understands, and now everybody is starting to wake up and understand what's happening with Palantir. Palantir is most certainly valuable. For me, gonna be one of the most valuable companies in the world. The US government, the DoD right now, is going to be spending a lot more money when it comes to software, specifically when it comes to artificial intelligence, machine learning, things like that. And again, Palantir is at the forefront, and let me explain to you why. While NVIDIA allows you to run artificial intelligence and machine learning in terms of hardware, right? The computers, the chips, so on and so forth. And Taiwan Semi builds those chips, right? So they're in the game as well. Palantir is the company, one of, if not the only company at the highest level that actually allows you to extract the data, to take out the information that you need, to make it useful when you are building your artificial intelligence, machine learning, large language models on top of NVIDIA's computers built by Taiwan Semi. So yes, Microsoft with ChatGPT and Google with Bard, and now Meta is coming out with their own, and Amazon just did a $4 billion investment I saw into I think the company's name is Entropic. Anyways, all the big players, all the trillion-dollar companies are all building their own versions of LLMs. There's not going to be the ability for everybody to make their own LLMs. They're going to have to rely on the big players, and the big players are going to sell their LLMs to smaller players, so on and so forth. That's how it trickled down. But none of them have the ability to do what Palantir AIP does. Palantir's artificial intelligence platform allows you to extract the data on the LLMs and make sense of that data and coordinate that data and actually make sure that you're not just writing poetry, but actually get substance from your data that actually transforms your entire organization, your entire business, and your entire life cycle of using a data LLM, of being able to use artificial intelligence, and being able to use machine learning. And all of this AIP is built and stacked on top of Palantir Foundry, or Palantir Gotham in the military's sense, from my understanding. But from my understanding for sure, and it was said, they slipped up and said that you don't need it, but you definitely need to stack Palantir AIP with Palantir Foundry, or another Palantir Gotham. Guys, this is just the beginning. Everything that's happening in Ukraine today, right now, is a proof of concept. everything that we're doing in Ukraine right now is going to come to the commercial sector in a year, 2 years, 3 years. The research and development contract that we just got, we are being paid for research and development. That's then going to be offset to the commercial clients, commercial use cases. Make no mistake about it. When Dr. Alex Karp says very few companies are actually proven, he's talking about that Palantir is actually proven, booted, and suited on the battlefield many times over. It all started, I believe, war on terror, Afghanistan. I've spoken about this a lot. Right now, we are proving our next generation of applications, our next generation of software, our next generation of how helpful can we be with you, with your data in the future. And guess where this product is going to go to? 2 products off the top of my head. Number 1, drones, right? That little Palantir spy kit or spy kit, where it has the drone and it has a little TV. That's where there's going to be applicability of drones. And if I'm not mistaken, Palantir is able to run the United States Air Force. I believe the program is called Rapid, if I'm not mistaken. And that is a drone, a coordinated drone program for the military. Palantir is literally training itself right now, being paid for this in Ukraine. That's one applicability. The second one is the goggles. The goggles that you saw in the back of the interview by Dr. Alex Karp. Those goggles are for military grade, but they will definitely be a commercial grade use case in the future. Now, I don't know if they're going to compete against the Apple Vision goggles, whatever they're called, or the Meta goggles, but there is going to be a commercial application for what Palantir right now is making on the battlefield. Guys, that's all I wanted to say. Don't let anybody talk down these contracts that we're getting. They're absolutely freaking massive. And we're hitting them one after the other, right? 250 million, 60 million. Hopefully we're going to get this freaking $600 million contract. And I would not be surprised if next week we hit another contract. Don't let anybody rain on your parade. We've been in here for a while. Guys, it's a privilege to serve the community, the Palantir Army. We're going to go to the moon. But before I go off, I wanted to just tell you one very, very important thing. How good is my hair, guys? Look at my hair. Look how beautiful and luscious it is. You can actually see the thickness. Like my hand, man, it's like glue. I can't even get my hand through. That's how luscious my hair is. It's so beautiful. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.